5 soldiers shot and wounded by one of their own.
It's another when the shots come from someone wearing the same uniform.
28-year-old Quornelius Radford used his personal handgun to shoot 5 fellow soldiers.
Gunshot wound.
Welcome to Tactical Truths, the go-to series for military news, tactical analysis, and frontline stories that matter. Before we get started, I need your help. 73% of you who watch regularly haven't subscribed yet. If you like what we do, hit that subscribe button, it's free, and helps us make this show better for you every single week. I'm Phil Campion, former UK SAS, and this is Tactical Truths. At Fort Stewart, Georgia, a US Army sergeant pulled a personal Glock and opened fire inside his own unit area. 5 soldiers were hit before anyone had time to ask why. The 2nd Armoured Brigade combat team went from routine mourning to full lockdown within minutes. But here's the difference. This didn't end in a body count. His own comrades took him down, disarmed him, and switched straight to saving lives. I'm Phil Campion, former UKSF, and this, well, it's the Tactical Truth. Now let's take a look at what's being said by the press, shall we? And then I'll pull it to pieces.
We begin tonight with the breaking news: a gunman opening fire at Fort Stewart, Georgia. The sprawling Army base placed on lockdown, soldiers running for cover. 5 soldiers shot and wounded by one of their own. The shots fired at Fort Stewart just before 11 o'clock this morning. Authorities still on the scene tonight. Soldiers seen running, the base commander ordering a lockdown, informing the base that there were casualties.
It's a nightmare scenario, isn't it? An absolute nightmare scenario. Do you know what I mean? Somebody who knows absolutely everything inside out turning turtle on you and giving it big licks.
Law enforcement responding, 5 soldiers shot, all 5 hospitalized. 2 taken by ambulance with a police escort to a level 1 trauma center in Savannah, about an hour away. Army officials say that. I
will say one thing. They have got this squared away, and they are almost not expecting it, but preempting it.
The suspect, a 28-year-old Army sergeant, used his personal handgun, opening fire on his co-workers. And tonight, authorities now say other co-workers wrestled him down. Tonight, what we're now learning about a recent arrest and real questions now about how he got his personal weapon on that base. ABC's Faith Abube leading us off at Fort Stewart tonight.
I mean, you've got to say, right, okay, I know how easy it is to cut about with a concealed weapon, right? That's not a problem at all, do you know what I mean? So what do you have to do to combat this eventually? I want to know your thoughts on this. You know what I mean? Do you give everybody who comes in and out of a base that size every morning a complete and utter shakedown? It would take all day to get everybody into work, wouldn't it? A hard one, isn't it?
Is the moment. Posted on TikTok, soldiers at Fort Stewart Army Base in Georgia running
Of course it's on TikTok, isn't it?
for safety after gunfire erupted.
Yeah, the active shooter on Fort Stewart.
Army officials say 28-year-old Sergeant Quornelius Radford opened fire at his logistics job using his non-military personal handgun, wounding 5 soldiers, his co-workers.
We got multiple shooting calls coming on.
Law enforcement racing to the scene, the base swiftly put on lockdown.
Also advising 1 shooter is in custody.
Army officials say it was the suspect's brave co-workers who stopped him.
But I know that
they're obviously all over this, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? The response times, the way they've reacted, the way, you know, the co-workers in there who've absolutely just gone straight at it from the very offlet. Do you know what I mean? You can see that this is a consideration that they've taken very, very seriously, and it's paid off, isn't it?
soldiers in the area that witnessed the shooting immediately and without hesitation tackled the soldier, subdued him, that allowed law enforcement to then take him into custody. These soldiers, without a doubt, prevented further casualties.
Ambulance.
Undoubtedly. What a brave thing to do as well. They haven't said whether they were armed or not, but I'm guessing by the way he's talking there that they probably weren't armed. They've absolutely, literally just gone flying in that. Do you know what I mean? If that's the case, that takes some, yeah.
Rushing the wounded to hospitals. 3 soldiers needed surgery, but officials say all 5 victims are in stable condition and expected to recover. Tonight, military officials say they just learned Radford was recently arrested for DUI off the base, but his chain of command wasn't aware, and investigators want to know how he was able to get a personal weapon onto the base.
We're going to have to determine.
driving under influence is DUI, if you don't know what that is.
How he was able to get a handgun to his place of duty.
Tonight, President Trump promising to prosecute the shooter to the fullest extent of the law.
The entire nation is...
I'm sure he will, and all, do you know what I mean? You're going to get the book thrown at you, my friend, and rightly so.
praying for the victims and their families, and hopefully they'll fully recover.
And David, Army investigators continue to question that suspect, trying to uncover a motive. They say he had no disciplinary record with the military, and tonight he remains in pretrial confinement. David.
Faith Abube there at Fort Stewart for us. Faith, thank you.
I think that's the thing that makes it really difficult here. You know, if somebody's got an exemplary record even, do you know what I mean? He's just turned completely rogue. It's completely rogue, top-end rogue, do you know what I mean? This is like five stars on GTI rogue, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's proper. Right, we've just seen what the press is showing. But here's our summary. This was August the 6th, mid-morning, in a supposedly secure base. The shooter, Sergeant Quornelius Radford, 28 years old, had served since 2018 as an automated logistics specialist. No prior violence record, no history of disciplinary action. A good all-round egg. But that morning, he walked in with a privately owned 9mm Glock and he opened fire. 5 soldiers went down, 3 are already home, 2 are still recovering in hospital. One of them's his partner, which is why he is also facing domestic violence charges alongside attempted murder and aggravated assault. The reason it wasn't a massacre, other soldiers didn't freeze. Sergeant Aaron Turner, First Sergeant Joshua Arnold and Staff Sgt Melissa Taylor, well, they tackled him mid-attack, they disarmed him and switched to first aid without missing a beat. They've already since been awarded meritorious service medals, and, to be fair, rightly so. Fort Stewart runs regular active shooter drills, and it showed. Lockdown procedures were in motion within seconds. This wasn't luck, it was training, discipline, and sheer guts of the people on the ground involved. But here's the uncomfortable bit. The Army is still looking at motive. Reports point to bullying over a stutter, perhaps racial tension, and a pending DUI. If that's true, it's a powder keg we've seen before. A soldier under pressure, feeling concerned, cornered, and he's got access to a weapon. This is a reminder that insider threats are every bit as real as anything outside the wire when someone who knows the routines, the blind spots, the choke points, turns rogue. You've got seconds to act, and these troops proved that seconds are all you need if you've got the drop. If you've served, you're in now. We want your thoughts on this, we really do. How secure is your unit? How fast could you react? And what would you actually do? And if you've heard anything else from official channels or internal comms, please let us go and share it. What's being said in your circles about this? And if you want the conversations that obviously we can't discuss openly, join our membership. It's 16p a day, and ForceTV Plus on our YouTube channel. Well, that's the place to be.